Yeah, this will be a testing video for a 30-inch Jenn-Air all-electric downdraft range. The hinges feel nice on the oven door. The oven's going to be nice and clean. These are brand new racks. This is a brand new seal. I did get this seal a little wet on this side, so it's got a little discoloration on that side, but it's going to be nice and flexible. It's brand new. The glass, I took the door apart and cleaned every pane of glass. I guess there was one that didn't need to be cleaned. There was one piece I didn't take fully off, but the door, you can see inside there is nice and clean. No like major drips or anything. This is kind of the glass wrapped. So this is glass here and here, which is kind of nice for durability. These have been cleaned. This has been cleaned. Knobs have been cleaned. Top's been cleaned as much as it can be. There's some discoloration there. This piece looks pretty good. There's like a little cosmetic thing in the back. You see that little top right there on this. Brand new filter. Underneath here, I just kind of clean that off and sprayed some paint in there. That is hidden anyway under that, but I like to do that. All right. So yeah, the hinges feel real nice on this. There's going to be discoloration here and maybe a little bit. And it's mostly right there. Real common. Here's the mechanism for the automatic door light. Here's the vent. It's blowing right now, but it's pretty quiet on the low setting always. And here's the high. So there's the downdraft fan. It comes with the fan if you want it, and the quick disconnect should almost always be pointed at the floor, so you push right here and then this will be pointed down. Usually sometimes it can be pointed outside of the house backwards. This is a 3-prong. So some of these you're not allowed to do a 3-prong cord. So houses before 1997 are going to tend to be the 3-prong cord. I think that's the date. I could have that date wrong, but I think that's when they changed the code. And houses after 1997 are normally wired with a 4-prong cord. Now I can ship this with a 4-prong or I can ship it with a 3-prong. I like to put the 3-prong on because that is what most people want. All right, yeah, so brand new racks, clean oven, all test. I'll just kind of get this going right now. But yeah, you can see the oven's pretty clean. I just have the bottom element warming up. The stickers, are going to be imperfect for sure. But I cleaned what I could. All that porcelain enamel on the inside looks pretty good. Basically glass coated. It's one of the nicer hinges I've felt. I put a brand new screen on this, so this is new screen, so all the buttons will be brand new. Let me get the burners going. Here, let me turn it on just as a reference point. It's about 50. I had this one on just for a second. So most of them about 56 degrees. I'll just turn it to real low setting on all these. So you shouldn't really be able to see the burners here, not likely, but you'll be able to see that they're getting warmer. 84, 74, this one hasn't gone up much. Let's see, is that one on? So this one here, so I've just barely got it on. I had it to melt, I turned it just a hair more. Yeah, so it's not going up fast on that setting. 100, 100. At 100, this one's real low right now. So this is what I have it turned to right now. I'll give this just a few more minutes, or not minutes, but I don't want this to be too boring, but you could tell it's getting governed. They're all getting governed real low temperature, and this was at 50 degrees before, so it's doing something, but it's not like, the thermostat's down pretty low on it. These are all around 100 on the lowest setting. All right, I'm going to turn it to 3 real quick, and we'll look inside the oven. I'll probably go to both the dual burner on when there's 2 burners, just so you'll be able to see the thermostat working. I'll do that on the 2. It looks like that back burner and this front burner can be set single zone or dual zone, but I've got this set to 3. This is set at roughly 3 and roughly 3, somewhere in that ballpark. So we got a red element in the oven. Yeah, I'm really liking this hinge. These usually do make some noise and stuff. So I'm guessing those hinges have been replaced at one point or just not used a lot, not sure. I'm going to go ahead and kick that off. You can see the temperature updates there. I will do a convection bake real quick, and just for good measure, this button right here only works when it's on convection, or sorry, not convection. Yeah, I mean, either convection or bake, but it has to be on bake first. So I'm just going to show you the fans working. Seems to be fairly quiet. Here's the little button for the light, and it also turns the convection on and off when you have the door open, just so it doesn't let all your heat out. So you can see the fans going, fans not noisy or anything. The element, I had turned it off, so the element is fading a little bit. I'm going to do broil, show you that element. And these burners should be warmer. I've got them on just setting 3 right now. It's a couple hundred degrees, so this is set pretty low on all of these. And this burner's still low, like the back burner. All right, I'm going to turn these up to medium real quick. So medium. And medium for this front burner is around setting 7. Setting 6. Setting 6. So I got this one turned up a little too high. All right, so I'm going to let those, you'll be able to see the burners kind of go on and off. Let's see, do I have that one on? Yeah. It's the front. This one, I can't really see it on, but it's getting hotter. But I can see the burner a little bit if I cover it up, but I really can't see it on the camera. I can see that one a little bit on the camera and that one a little bit on the camera. Maybe if I'm at an angle, I don't know. I can see that one right now, but barely. All right, so this at mid setting right now. And they're kind of cycling on and off, so they're all similar temperature. And yeah, I don't know if I said this, but I did clean this top. So this discoloration is normal, or pretty normal. They, any ceramic top will get some scratches, but I tried to clean it. You might be able to get that better with something like vinegar, I'm not sure, but I cleaned it with your typical ceramic cleaner. Broil element's most likely red. Yep. So there's the broil element. I'm going to test or show you all the buttons. This is a brand new keypad here, so I'll just push all the buttons even if I've already pushed them. So the bake and broil, I've already pushed those. Convection, I've done rapid preheat, but it's just going to go like that unless it's on. There's that button, that button. This is where most of your settings are in setup, and your kind of more advanced baking settings like bread proofing, things like that would be right here. Self clean. Hopefully this isn't so hot that it's going to lock me out. I don't think it will. If it does, it's not a big deal. I'm just going to show you the self-locking on it real quick. This is kind of a safety feature. So this is going to draw the door shut. There you go. You can see it drawing the door shut. All right, and then it's got me locked out, and it'll keep me locked out until it's at a safe temperature. Now, it's super hot on the inside of the oven when you run self-clean. You don't want to have any aluminum foil on the bottom. It self-cleans at about 850 degrees, but this is the hottest point on the outside, and you set your hand on that. It's like 130 degrees, and even paper doesn't catch on fire till around, I want to say it's about 800 degrees. It's very hot. So there's no fire hazard or anything with the self-clean. Yeah, this is a brand new seal. I got it wet or something right here, so this is just slightly discolored on that side. But yeah, this is brand new, real flexible and perfect in terms of flexibility. You could see it did unlock itself. So the lock unlock's working good. Okay, so I've had these on medium for a while, and they've had some chances to cycle a little bit. All right, so 500. These two are the two small burners are similar, and these are just on setting 6. And these two burners are pretty similar. All right, same burner style. Okay, I'm going to set them to high. In these, you should be able to see these on. So I've got them all on. I did these two burners just single zone at first. Here, you can see both zones are on. I'm going to actually switch back to the single zone and just set that to high real quick, just so you can physically see that the single zone is working on both of these. And yeah, these are all on high right now, so I'm not going to leave them on high. Usually you want to have a pan on them So the second zone should kick back on. Usually you'd want to have a pan on them. You don't want to infrared on your eyes and just kind of sunburning your eyes. But I'll try to show you, just how clean this is. There's some discoloration right there. That's paint, on the top there. But this is nice and clean. This glass has been like taken apart inside. Here's the oven light button. Oh, and sorry, I did not hit all the buttons on the oven. So I hit all these. Here's timer 1. And you can set your minutes, like you set single minutes in increments of 10. You can hit enter. There's your timer 1. You can toggle over to timer 2. Actually, I have a Jenn-Air range in my house, so I'm pretty used to these. And then to kick the timers off, you can hit them twice. I think you might be able to hit cancel. But I think you have to hit timer and then cancel. Oh, maybe not. You have to hit the timer button twice is the only way to do that. All right, so I showed you these buttons when I added, 1 minute, 10 minutes, enter. Timer 1. Okay, I'm just going to hit all these numbers. 7, 8, 9, 0. Back. So there's 7 minutes there. Then you can toggle over to timer 1, timer 2. You can see the burners are all on. All right, oops, one too many times. I've already showed you this. So here's the downdraft fan on high. You can barely hear it on low, but I'll leave it on low. I'll just hold something in front of it so you can physically see it blowing here. So it's blowing. They're always quiet. There's it on high. All right. So getting up there now. Eventually these will turn off. I might as well leave it on and let them cycle themselves off. Yeah, you can see these have been taken off and cleaned. Everything's been cleaned. This is a false drawer. It's a downdraft range. So usually these don't have a real drawer. So this just lifts up and off, and that's for when you're installing the fan. Usually you'd want to put the fan in place, and then you'd want to have the connector, this guy here. So this is 6-inch. To your actual house is 5-inch. And then oftentimes those are siliconed. An easy way to replace the fan when you swap your range, if you already have a fan that looks just like this, but the cord doesn't look like this, you can just take the 4 nuts off of this, and the housing's the same. So just take the 4 nuts off of this, that pulls the whole motor, and this is connected to the range. And these I think are 240 volts. The older ones that look a lot like these are 120 volts. So that's an easy way to install your fan, is just leave your existing housing, pull the 4 nuts on this, and just put this in your old thing. That way you don't have to undo it on the floor, or you will have to undo it on the range, but you can only partially undo this thing if you want to. But might as well replace this. This one's fairly clean and stuff. So this will come with it. Fan will come with it. If you don't need the fan, let me know. I wouldn't mind keeping it. Give you a small discount on it. But anyway, the price you see, and these are going to look green. This is totally normal for these white ones. They look green until they cool off. But you can see they are cycling off. Around this gun might cap out at about 900 degrees. These are actually, none of these are putting my gun over its limit, but it's really close. This one might do it. Yeah, can't quite get there. So this, I think, caps out at 9 something, low 9s. So anyway, guys, there it is. You can see these are all cycling on and off. I've showed you these single zone, dual zone, showed you the top element, on, bottom element, and I pushed every button here. The cancel button is only going to work when you're on like bake. So you can hit these quick buttons for your temperature, or you can, I think the lowest temp it'll do is 200, and if you're on convection bake, you can get it down to, it'll automatically reduce it by 25 degrees. That's a setting. You can turn that off if you want to. But if you want it cooler than that, you have to go here, and then there's delayed bake, time break, bread proofing. You can do fast proofing. I think it proofs at more like 140 degrees, and then the standard proofing is closer to 100 degrees. So bread proofing, keep warm, gives you these options. So you can get lower temperatures if you want in these more advanced options right here. More options. So yeah, you can see the burners cycling on and off. All 4 of these lights are working. I'll show you that real quick just to make sure it's on screen here. So here's the lights on. Sorry, you got to be pretty straight on that one. And you can see the lights turning off. knobs feel good. I'm just kind of, you can go either direction. Yeah. Anyway, these will be green until they cool. I don't know what temperature they go back to the color they were at the beginning of this video, but this is, I see this every single time. They do this until they're cooled down. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. Sorry if it was too long, but I like to be thorough. This has been pretty thoroughly cleaned. Like, this has been, you know, cleaned all the way around outside this. This is all just like should have no remaining grease, really, if you really look at the details. This is kind of on the inside of this. And yeah, the stickers aren't going to be perfect. There's one over here, one right here. And yeah, if you need a anti-tip bracket, let me know. I have some. Usually there would be one on the house already, but that's just so if a kid like climbs on the door or something. Yeah. All right, guys, there it is. A phone number should be on the listing. Yeah, and cash, Venmo, PayPal, whatever, Zelle. All right, thanks, guys.